We have a MacBook Pro. It's a 16 inches, A2141. A2141. It's a low power. The description that came with the machine. So this is. It's been for assessment before. This is the description. It says MacBook Pro 16 inches. The above mentioned unit has been brought into our workshop and assessed by certified Apple technician. It was reported to us that there is a functional issue with the MacBook Pro. Our diagnosis confirmed that the following parts were need to be replaced. Okay, the logic board and Touch ID. So Apple diagnosis are failing on RAM memory, and requires the logic board to be replaced. Built-in parts. No damage has been found that could have caused the fault on the Mac. Please don't hesitate to contact us should you have any queries. Sincere Naim David. So that is the assessment report that's associated to this Mac. So basically, it's been assessed and they came to the conclusion that the board needs to be replaced. So let's see what we have, and we also have specific instructions from the client not to fix it. We should ascertain exactly what the issue is, which is to define. So it's one thing to say a device is a no power. It's another thing to when you are assessing the device, that is where you define what state the device is in. So do you have a short? Do you have this? Do you have that? So you're trying to give a definition to the state or the status of the logic board. So that is what we want to do now. And yeah, but then the instructions was we should not fix. We should only define what the issue, the cause of the no power is. We already know that it's a no power, but what is the cause of it? And then the client can now decide. So for me, it's you see here it just says the replace logic board, and yeah. So let's see. Uh, let's check it out, and then we can ascertain what is wrong, and then we can take it up from there. So with this one, after we confirm what is wrong, we need to get back to the client, and then they need to decide if they want us to fix it or not. Okay, so the board looks fairly clean. There's nothing suggests that it's liquid damaged. As usual, what you want to do is to disconnect our battery communication. So the battery cable, disconnect that. So what you want to do is you want to see if we have a short on our board. Basically a standard. Let's see what state our board is in. Let's see if I have a short on our PP bus. So this board is going to be an 820-01700. Let's see. Actually, I think we already have it open. Yeah, 01700. That is the board number. And we want to check if I will show on our PP bus that you can confirm at F7700 or F7701, 7000 and 7001. And the reason why we are using that is because these two components are sitting on the PP bus voltage line. So we want to see if we have a short on the PP bus voltage line. So basically, we want to see if we have a short to ground. We want to see if that line is connected to ground, because if that is the case, that can basically cause your device not to primarily the line will not function because you will get lower voltage as other than what that line is supposed to have, because it's connected to ground, because ground is always zero. And um, uh, and um, you and then beyond that you will have a non-working device. So let's see. Our multimeter is going to be on continuity mode. Black probe to ground, and then our red probe. See this. We don't have a short. That's OL. We don't have a short. Now, what you want to do is you want to see if we have a short on our land, which is we check on the right wing and the left wing. So on the right wing, we can check here. We can use these caps here, which is 2.5 volts underscore 9 underscore SS. So let's see, we can use these two caps here. Let's see, do we have a short on that side? And we don't have a short. Now let's check the left wing. Uh, sorry, that's the left wing. Let's check the right wing. So the right wing is to my right. Yeah. So that's gonna be 2.50. Yes. Okay. So that's we can use C1990. That's going to be this guy here. Or we can use this inductor here, L9081. Let's see if we have a short there. And we don't have a short there. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to try put the device into DFU mode. Just before we do that, let's see what we have on our PPDC in. By extension of that, let's see what we have on our PP3 on our PP bus also. Let's connect our charger and then switch our multimeter to voltage mode. At this point, it is we now confirm that it is safe to connect power. So we don't have a short on our PP on our PP bus. We don't have a short on our NAND. And the fan is actually spinning. Okay, is the device coming on? We have a spinning fan. Okay, we have a spinning fan, but we are not posting. There's no CPU activity, and that we can confirm because we don't have caps lock. Let's try to shut it down. Let's connect our battery. Let's try again. Okay, the device is. This is interesting. Uh, and that's and the device starts. Um, okay. Uh, okay. Uh, the password, I think so. Password 1234. Okay, 1234. So if the computer restarted because of a problem, let's just restart the machine again. Windows server could respectively. Okay, let's see. Uh, let's just restart the machine and see what happens. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly. Okay, Let's do something. Let's shut the device down and let's start it up again. But this time we want to have the battery disconnected. Let's disconnect the battery. And it starts. Okay. That's weird. Is it random? Because the first time. Mm, okay, so it still starts. The first time we got fan spin and it wasn't starting, but now it is starting. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So let's. Let's see. Hmm. Okay. So the device seems to start out fine. Um. Okay. Uh. Okay. Let's do something. Let's. Let us. Let us take the board out and see if there is anything that could make the device work partially, like because yeah, let's get to know why. Let's take the board out before. So what we want to do now is we want to see if there is anything on the other side of the board that may cause the board to intermittently work before we draw any conclusion on it. Because on this side, the board is fairly clean. The board has no no short. I mean, obviously, because we see the board starts just fine. The first time the board start, we did start the board. There was no CPU activity. The second time, we tried that, and then we had to again replicate that by not connecting the battery, but still the device started the second time. So now let's and we've actually tried to switch off the device on and off, and the device still starts. So before we draw any type of conclusion, let's take the board out and see if there is anything on the other side of the board that could cause the board to work at random. So when you are using a tool like this one to disconnect your cables, be very sure that you are 100% in control. Do not let your tool take control of you, because you don't want to rip out any component with the tool that you're using. So be very careful when you're using a tool to disconnect your cables. And also, you have to extra cautious around your Touch ID cable. You don't want to break it, because the Touch ID is tied to the board. Once the Touch ID cable is broken, you sit with a board without Touch ID function. So be very careful around the Touch ID cable. Uh, you can run a jumper wire across the cables when it's broken, but you don't want to go through all of that trouble. So you can save yourself all of the trouble by being careful in the first place. Okay, so the board is out. Let's see on the other side of the board. See if there is any reason why we may have intermittent function on the board. Yeah, nothing really stands out. Uh, we are going to assemble the board again, and then kind of also engage the clients to find out more in details what they experience with the machine. uh, yeah, and then we can take it further from there, because nothing really stands out on the board on both sides. The board starts up just fine. So what we will be doing is to reach out to the client to find out if exactly what is it that they experiencing with the device. And then yeah, we can proceed from there. So for now, we will have to put the board aside, get hold of the client, speak to the client, get to hear their own side of the story, what exactly they're experiencing with the machine, and then we can come back to this. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thank you.